I'm Billy. What do I enjoy most about farming? Probably feeding my cows or harrowing my paddocks. I'm always thinking about my cows. Have they got enough food? Have they got enough hay? Have they got enough water? I love jumping in my tractor. A coyote. It's only a little one, but it does the job. It does the job. Yeah. Getting in my tractor. Is probably the hardest thing. Because how I get in there right now is just my engine hoist. I don't know. When I seen this engine hoist come up on, I don't know where it came up, Facebook or the internet, I was like, that thing, if I put a sling around me, like getting lifted up by my hoist at home and getting put into bed, if I put a sling around me and hook onto the end of the engine hoist, that can just lift me up out of my chair and put me in anything I want. Yes, it's not quite big enough, which is another reason why I had to go with such a small tractor, but it does the job. I can virtually get anything very small, but virtually getting anything I want because that engine hoist. Yeah, so that's good. I do have a plan for moving forward, halving a canopy on the back of the Ranger and putting a crane on the back of the Ranger, just like a size one or whatever, and that will be on the back of the tray, so about this high up, and then it will be right there, so that can put me virtually in anything I want. That's a lot better than the engine hoist. But moving forward, that is my plan, but it hasn't happened just yet. So we're still using the engine hoist. Yeah, I do wear a seatbelt on the tractor. I do have safety switches on it. So I am safe, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing anything that's completely out of this world.
There's not a whole lot out there that we've found so far in the way of funding. I think the agricultural, especially equipment area, scares people when it comes to funding. It's not as if Billy's like sitting in a bedroom playing Xbox or going to watch a sports game and they're funding a football or a wheelchair. We haven't really found that there's any assistance in farming agricultural equipment. Everything we've done so far, we've pretty much done ourselves. Tried to make Billy's tractor accessible. So that was done in conjunction with the company Billy brought the tractor off, which were wonderful. So they actually put some levers inside the tractor so Billy could drive that. There's so much more that could be done to help Billy be more accessible on the farm and accessible in the tractor, ATVs. But we're finding there's a bit of a lack there in the industry and we haven't really, it's hard. At the moment, we just find other people that are in the same boat and we just talk to them and see what they've done, how they've gone about it. I think that's where Josie's come in really handy from Ability Agricultural. She's surrounded by people in a similar situation with Billy, whose dreams and goals are just to work on a farm. And then how do they do that? How do they get in a tractor? How do they seed their paddocks? How do they plough their paddocks? The things we take for granted, then all of a sudden you're brainstorming how we're going to make this work. And we're firm believers that if you want to do something bad enough in life, you'll be able to do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. But in the agricultural sector, it's definitely hard. It's definitely hard to work out, okay, how are we going to get Billy from his wheelchair into something that's 2 meters high? How do you do that? And you might spend 12 months, 2 years, or in our case, maybe 3 years brainstorming how are we going to make that work. So we feel we've got the tractor ticked off, but we could still even improve on that.
Getting a bigger one.
Getting a bigger one, but if he gets a bigger one, well, again, how do we get him into the bigger one? And I just feel like the field's lacking. I'd love to be able to go to someone and say, okay, how do we do this? And then someone comes to us and say, oh, easy. This is how we're going to do it. And we're going to make it safe for Billy. And this is what we do. But at the moment, I feel like we're on our own and we have to actually come up with the resources, the ideas, how are we going to make this happen? And how are we going to keep Billy safe to make it happen?
Challenging.
It is challenging at times. Yeah. But we just plod along and we listen to other people, we research. And here we are today. I think we've come a long way. I mean, Billy can certainly get in a tractor. He can plough his paddocks. He can harrow his paddocks. He can feed his cows hay. He'd love to be able to maybe, open up gates on his own. And there are gates out there that are automated. So that's a plan we're looking at for the future. Maybe some automated gates so Billy can actually open them from inside his tractor. The more Billy can do independently, the better.
Mum and Dad forgot to put me in my tractor, then walk up to those gates, open them for me. If I just had a button in my tractor that they were automated, you know what I mean, that would be a lot easier. But yeah, we've just got to.
You work with what you got at the time, but we're always striving for ways to improve. Because obviously the way we start, sometimes it's not sustainable to continue that way. So, as in the engine hoist, yes, it's great that we can get Billy in the tractor, that's great, but we're still working on ways to improve that in the long term.
I guess you've just got to be out there to try anything, do anything. Like having half a brain, of course, and knowing if it'll work and if it won't work is certainly a thing you can look at, but just try like anything. I wouldn't have been able to get in the tractor if an engine hoist hadn't popped up on my newsfeed one day and I was like, yes, that thing, that can get me in anything I want. And I just bought it like that, and then I don't know, you just gotta be out there and want to try stuff, do stuff,